Hello, friends. This is Eric, the Mind Control guy. How's everybody doing this morning? And this rainy morning, it's March 14th, 2020. Saturday the 14th. Yesterday, when everybody was going nuts getting stuff off the shelves, toilet paper apocalypse and all that kind of stuff. Well, I got to thinking about something on my way out here to Western Illinois. And of course, you have all the naysayers and all the people that, like I call them swaggering, arrogant skeptics that don't believe in anything anyway. But, not too many years ago, there was a feller named David Crowley who was making a movie called Gray State. Apparently, in the middle of making this movie, him and his family turned up dead. They tried to say it was a murder-suicide, and people said, He was getting too close to the truth. So they had to have him whacked. Well, what we're seeing with this coronavirus thing, people going nuts. And, of course, I think what we're seeing right now is just the beginning of something. Now, me being a trucker by trade, we are more highly regulated than people in a lot of industries. Anyway, we got some messages across our satellite that said we are going to be, there's an executive order in play that says we are relieved from regulations as far as hours of service. In other words, if we're trying to, get to a store in one state or a couple states away, or whatever the situation is, to get these deliveries done, we can go over our hours to get that stuff done and not have to worry about being in violation, providing that we write that down on our trip report. Wow. Years ago, I tried to argue with the highway patrol guy about there is a regulation in the DOT book of regulations. It is called relief from regulations. If you have natural disaster, tornado, hurricane, wildfire, civil unrest, or something like that, that you can be relieved from regulations just to get in or to get out, to get away from danger. He said, no, that's not real. That's a bunch of nonsense. I said, well, if I'm, at my 10 hours and there's a tornado coming down or a hurricane or civil unrest and people chase me down, I'm going to boogie down the road. Yeah, well, I'm going to stop and I'm going to give you a ticket, rah, rah, rah. What the hell they teach you in the damn police academy anyway? That's stupid. And, I saw it in there myself many years ago when I was a young trucker. Well over 25 years ago, probably close to 30 years ago, I saw that. Relief from regulations. And anyway, apparently executive order just came down because of this coronavirus thing. The truckers in my industry, you're trying to get goods and services to these stores, like whether it be Walmart or Kroger or any of the satellite, grocery stores out west in the Southwest. They have Ralph's. I don't even think Alpha Beta is in existence anymore, but they had Albertsons and Safeway. And in the Northwest, it's Fred Meyer. Chicago, it's Food for Less and Payless Foods. And the smaller stores, they got like JC's, they got Owens, they got Ruler, they got all these different grocery stores. And then they have Costco and Sam Clubs, and I guess those places, in Indianapolis, which is north of where I live, I guess they're just bone dry as far as a lot of stuff goes. And I got to thinking, we're relieved from regulations. They want us to get that stuff in there. And this is apparently going to be in place as it stands till sometime in early April. I don't remember the exact day. I think it's between the 4th and the 12th of April. That this emergency, because of this coronavirus stuff, thinking, wow, how serious is this going to get? who knows something that the rest of us don't? And I started thinking about that movie Gray State. You know, when these stores, you know, they get their deliveries, like people like myself and, you know, countless others that deliver to these kind of stores. They got distribution warehouses. What happens if everything starts shutting down? The factories that make this various countless amounts of products that end up going to the retail stores for sale. What happens if the factories start shutting down and the distribution centers end up empty? In just a matter of time, the retail stores will end up empty. And if the big players, the people, individuals who organize this kind of thing, makes me wonder, was when David Crowley was making that movie Gray State, and he was murdered, him and his family, because he was getting too close to the truth of what was coming down. It makes me wonder, are what we seeing, is this just the beginning? Because these executive orders that went out, and the orders for the schools shutting down in Indiana, the port shutting down, Friday the 13th. Imagine that. But you can watch the trailers for the movie Gray State. You know, it might be a minute plus, 2 minutes plus. The scenes that were actually made, before Mr. Crowley and his family were killed. The ones that, you know, people got a hold of and got out here on the internet, on YouTube. And they show FEMA. And that not just in their windbreakers dishing out food. I mean, guys wearing FEMA, you know, they got their riot shields, they got their battle armor on, going after the people, beating people, shooting people in the head, just all kinds of stuff. I'm wondering, was Mr. Crowley right? Are what we seeing today, is it going to be the beginning of what that movie Mr. Crowley was making, Gray State? Are what we seeing, is this just another thing that coming and going? All these other illnesses that have come and gone through the years, we haven't seen any of those that are doing what's being done now. Schools shutting down all the way from kindergarten to college? What? Entire sports industry shutting down, starting with the NBA. I don't watch it. But the port shutting down, hospitals, unless it's emergency, unless you have to be seen, you don't go in. Nursing homes, same thing. I'm wondering, are what we seeing today, is this the beginning of the Gray State that Mr. Crowley was making a movie about and was killed for? Letting too much of the future truth out. We will see in the days to come. So far, this emergency order is extending out 3 weeks from yesterday, Friday the 13th of March 2020. And today it's mid-morning, Saturday the 14th, March 2020. So I guess we will see. Is this thing just gonna come in and go out? Or is what we are experiencing right now, is this the beginning of the Gray State? We'll see. This is Eric the Mind Control Guy telling you folks right now, You have a good day and a better tomorrow. And if you are not prepping now, my question is, why? Why not? Why aren't you prepping? You should have been a prepper a long time ago. I hope what's going on now gives you incentive to do what you should have been doing all along. Take care.